and he got an STD and he breed with your female, now your female got it too. And if you breed that female back to one of your males, you know, in the future without getting that checked out, now you got a yard that's contaminated. You know, now your yard is infected and you got some clearing out to do. What's good, YouTube? It's Josh with Neighborhood Bullies checking back in with another video. And today I'm gonna be telling y'all about when to use certain breeding techniques as far as AI or natural breeding or surgical. I just got done doing an AI myself on one of my girls. I put a picture up below, well, I put a picture up above, you know, of the semen I collected from my male. And yeah, we just went ahead and knocked that out. So pretty much, you know, anybody would want to do a natural breeding. Well, especially old school breeders that have been doing it for a while, natural breeding would be the way to go, because I guess you can say it would be easier, especially if you got your own male and your own female on your yard. It'd be a lot easier to do a breeding because, you know, you got access to the male and the female, so you can use the male as many times as you would need to, versus when you get some semen shipped in and doing an AI, you know, then you only got a very limited amount of semen that you can use, so you got to make sure you hit it at the right time. But yeah, the natural breedings, that would be the typical way to go. You know, you put two dogs together, let them mess around a little bit, and then they'll eventually get tied together, but that don't always work. I've tried that several times, and most times it works, and sometimes it don't. And for the times it don't work, what you would do is you would have to do an AI on your dog. Now the AI would be performed around the same time you would do your natural breeding, because you know, the levels would be the same far as if you get a progesterone test to where it's time to inseminate the semen. So usually when you get an AI done, if you have the money, you can go get a progesterone test and it'll tell you the levels where you need to start breeding. You can just check with your local vet and they'll tell you, you know, certain numbers. It changes from different vets because they use different progesterone machines. So certain numbers will be different at certain vets, but for the most part, the numbers will be roughly around the same area. So, and another reason people would do an AI is because, you know, especially if you're doing a breeding and you using your female, but you're using a male that's from another yard, you know, dogs can still get STDs just like humans. So if you bringing in another male from another yard and he got an STD and he breed with your female, now your female got it too. And if you breed that female back to one of your males, you know, in the future without getting that checked out, now you got a yard that's contaminated. You know, now your yard is infected and you got some clearing out to do. So yeah, that's another reason people would do an AI. A lot of people also feel like it's easier to do an AI because it's a lot less stress on the dogs. And then you know, if you're doing an AI versus a natural breeding, you know, that could be a time difference. You know, a natural breeding can take, I mean, it could be quick or it could go, you know, long as to an hour until they finally get right. But, you know, you can do an AI and knock it out in about 15, 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So it just really depends. It depends on the dog. It depends on the situation. It's really no certain answer on, you know, what way you should breed and when you should do a certain thing, unless it comes to like surgical. If you get a progesterone, and you know your dog is up in the numbers, you know, like around 20 or 19, something like that, you may want to get a surgical because, you know, at that point it's too late for the semen to travel all the way down the canal to get to the egg to fertilize it in time, you know, before she goes out of heat. So, you know, the surgical way would be where they plant the semen directly on her eggs versus it having to travel through the canal. So, you know, the surgical way is more expensive, but that's what you do when you want, I would say, a more guaranteed result or, you know, a higher chance of getting pregnancy because they sit the semen right on the eggs. So that's a surgical, and it's also called a TCI. But me, my main way that I breed nowadays would be an AI because, like I said, it's a lot less stress on the dogs. I will let them try to do a natural breeding on their own, but if I see it's taking them a while, or sometimes I'll even give them a day or two, you know, depending on what day in the heat cycle she's in, you know, that I can maybe play her with. I give them a day or two like maybe around day 7 or day 8, you know, I'll let him try on his own. But if I see by day 9 that he ain't got it on his own, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and do what I gotta do and go ahead and run that AI so we can knock the breeding out. You know, I'm not just gonna let him try through the whole breeding or through the whole heat cycle and, you know, never stick or never get a pregnant, or not get a pregnant, but never get a tie-in. So yeah, that's another reason that, you know, I prefer to do an AI. But I would love to do a natural breeding. You know, like I say, I'm gonna give them that period to try it on their own. And if they stick, that's good. You know, I'm gonna just keep letting them stick on his own, you know, until she goes out of heat. And typically what I do is I breed like every other day, or sometimes it depends on what day in the heat cycle she is. I'll breed every day, you know, for like 3 days straight. Or, you know, if I catch them on day 10, I'll breed every other day. The semen stays good in the female for, I believe it's up to the 72 hours or something like that. 48 to 72 hours, I gotta double check on that. But it stays good for a couple of days. So you don't necessarily have to breed every single day, but sometimes I like to load them up and I'll breed them like 3 days in a row straight. But one thing you don't wanna do is breed your male like multiple times in one day. You don't wanna breed them in the morning and come back and breed them at night. And then the next day you breed them in the morning, then you come back and breed them at night after that. Because at that point, you're putting too much stress on the male. You're putting too much on them, you know? So that's just my take on it. You know, I ain't gonna make this video too long and drawn out, but yeah, you got, you know, your natural breedings, your AIs, and your surgicals. In different cases, calls for different reasons to breed, you know? But one thing about it, like my motto is, we're gonna get that breeding done. You feel me? So we changing lives one puppy at a time. Neighborhood Bullies Josh, we checking out.